Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's great to be with you. And I have a background noise. I hope that you are all well and that you have had a lovely weekend and a good start to the week. Hi Shani, how are you? So I thought I would color some portraits today instead of my sloth because I actually didn't color anything on that page from Monday, and I spent the weekend fighting off migraine headaches, so the bulk of my coloring has actually tried to be mindless coloring. So I thought that a little bit of portrait coloring would be a good place to start, and I'm going to use Prismacolor pencils because I like them. And I've got a palette here I got off, I think it is Kirsty Partridge Art, so I use her swatches and color combos. So yeah, I'm glad you're well, Shani. Hi to Pekka. Thanks for joining. How is Texas? Okay, so I'm going to come in with my peach and use a medium pressure. Sometimes I prefer to use a lighter pressure and go over it a few times with the same color and build up the layers that way, instead of going too hard too quickly. Oh dear, hot. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's from what I understand, Texas does get quite hot. My aunt and my grandmother live in Texas, so I often hear them talking about the weather. Alright, I think I'll try and zoom you in a bit more. But these pictures are quite large, so it is a bit difficult to zoom in too. Otherwise, as I move around the picture, you won't see what I'm doing. So we finally had a nice, pleasant day with sunshine, and also I took the kids over to the beach. I just really wanted to go for a walk and just be outside, so I thought if I get them to the beach, they could have some fun, I could get a walk, and we could just be outside. So that was quite nice, and the beach was surprisingly empty in one respect, but in another respect I wasn't surprised because I took them to a beach I know is quite quiet. It actually has been quite a while since I've done such a big portrait, which I'm really looking forward to, because I do enjoy colouring portraits. You just take your time with them. Oh, totally, totally just need to be outside. And it's so good for everything, really. I mean, the fresh air, looking out into nature. It was quite windy because the tide was coming in. And then because of the chalk cliffs, there's a lot of chalk powder on the walkway. So as you're walking, the sun is kind of bouncing off the chalk and glaring you in the face. But they were able to do a little bit of rock pooling, and then we sat and just built some rock piles, and I read some astronomy books to them, so just about different astronomers, which was great. I do think, though, being outside is just great for the soul. Okay, cool. You want to do an outdoor YouTube channel. So what sort of outdoor things are you hoping to cover? I mean, as far as tips goes, I would say just you want to make sure that you film in landscape mode and not portrait. Get yourself a good video editor. I use DaVinci Resolve, and I just use the free option. But just go for it. Being outside in nature, whether it's like at a park or in a woodland on the beach, it's all great. Different things that you can do during the summer holidays. It also depends on your because I've been fighting off migraines over the weekend, I'm still not completely headache free yet. It's much better than it was yesterday. So I'm just gonna go slow today with this live. It might be shorter than normal, but we'll just see how I go. And I've also decided I need to work on just getting out of my coloring slump. So I've been really trying hard to just switch my brain off and just go, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up things that I feel like, things that are easy, and I'm just gonna go for it. So I've been working a bit more in my whips. Oh, absolutely. That's a great point, Shani. Just be mindful of lighting. Yeah, like, so I was trying to take a photo of one of the boys, and I think they'd found half of a crab skeleton. So I took a photo of it, but then I said to them, look, you need to move out of the light, because I was aiming my camera straight into the sun, which just causes more of a silhouette. So you always want to have the sun behind you when you're taking outdoor pictures. Some people use drones, depending on what they're doing though. I've never gotten into using drones, but they do those like big landscape sort of filming. Right, so I've lightened up my pressure because I'm trying to get a feel for this page and where I want my highlights. Because I want there to be like the light kind of coming in from the left-hand side, but I don't want her too pale either. Yeah, I've seen that colouring slumps are going around. It's really bizarre. I hope everyone comes out of theirs. I had a giggle. So I was watching Lego City Adventures with the boys on Netflix. Now I love the Lego City Adventure series. Anyway, so the one episode we're watching it was actually talking about slumps, and right towards the end, the basic sort of message was to get out of a slump, go back to basics. And I had such a giggle because I thought, yeah, that's what we need to do. When in a slump, just go back to basics. Go back to the basics of coloring. You know, why do we do it? What do we enjoy about it? What's easy? And just do that. Hi Leslie, hi Shannon. Hi Pickles. The other thing I thought of doing was actually, and I did do, I put on a color along with Zucchini Kitty. I needed some help with one of my Magical Dawn pages anyway, so I thought, oh, actually she's pretty good, and I can actually go ahead and watch one of her tutorials. So I did that. But I'm actually thinking I should probably do that a bit more at the moment, just because everything just feels so tricky, and then I can work on it from there. I want a slight white line there. Pickles, I saw your beautiful portrait. You did a great job. I really liked what you did. So where Anastasia Koldareva has put all these lines, I'm going to go on a slightly harder pressure, because that is my shadows, so they can have more color in them. I wonder if a lot of the coloring slumps are also due just to burnout. Hi Connie, how are you? Thanks for joining. So do you guys like to put makeup on your portraits, or do you prefer them without makeup? I think my favorite part with portraits is watching the skin and the face come to life. I tend to not do makeup. I've always preferred the natural look. I think with makeup, I'm worried that because I don't wear a lot of makeup, and I'm not actually really good at putting makeup on myself. I mean, I can do it okay and it's fine, but it's not my forte. So I do feel that the natural look is my natural preference. I always start with a lot of white space, and then as I build it up, I slowly remove the white space. I think the thing with skin tone is not to rush it and not to shy away from the layers. Just build it up. I still find coloring dark skin is actually harder than coloring Caucasian skin. I want it to be more, how do I put it? The yellow undertones in the dark skin, I tend to worry that I've made my portraits look too jaundiced. So then I'm constantly counteracting the natural yellow undertones. And I don't think that that is very helpful. So I do wish though that there were more pictures with darker skin tones, so African, Indian, even a bit of Chinese would be cool. But especially your Indian and your African. All right, so I'll come back to peach later on. Oh, I'm supposed to wear sunscreen. I forget though. And then today we left it at home. Oh, I hear you, Pickles. I can get like that. All right, so now I'm using light umber. You'll see I'll probably end up only coloring her face for however long we end up doing this live. Oh, I should look at that. I do love a good Chris Chang video. She is amazing. My best portraits have been done following one of her tutorials, even though it's not on the same portrait. I just take the principles and then I apply it to whichever page I'm working on. Generally, I try and find my portraits to have the same facial orientation as whichever portrait she is doing. And then I do that. She will look good when we are done. But for now, she's going to look a little bit splotchy, and then as we go, she's going to look good. Sometimes putting in the shadows then helps me to know where I need to put my midtones. Cool, thanks Kenny. I will take note. All right, dark brown. Oh no, it shouldn't freak out. The dark pencil's good. You just do it lightly and then go even lighter as you come out. Oh, Kenny, I just thought you mentioned when we refer to pickle not to put an S at the end. So I was just thanking you for bringing that to our attention. So with the dark pencil on the eyes, you want to go just in the darkest area, so wherever your shadow is, and you just blend it out. And then you need to use your other pencils to just help you with the blending. So here she needs to have it quite dark because the bridge of her nose is blocking the sun from hitting her eyes. So, and then here be quite a bit dark, but I don't go over here. And then underneath the eye, you're just doing it finely. So you want to try get the tip of your pencil in. And you don't want to press too hard. And then in a minute I'm going to bring in the sienna brown, and that's going to bring redness to the shadow. So it all looks really wrong now. And she looks really freakishly pale. But it's okay. We'll build up the layers. I worry more about doing the nostrils or the shadows underneath her nose, because if I don't do it right and you have the white lines going too much up into her nose, she looks like she's got stuff dangling out. And that's just not going to work. Just keep layering. Yep, just keep layering, just keep layering. And when you think you've done enough, just keep layering. Right, so I'm coming quickly back here with my light umber. Just ever so slight. Now I think this part of her face should actually be darker, so I will fix that soon. And I will just keep working on this. Hi Mona, how are you? Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my sienna brown, and I'm just going to go over all that dark brown with the sienna brown. And that's just going to keep this picture from looking weird. Now over her eye here, you could leave it with the dark brown, mainly because you could give her dark brown eyeshadow if you wanted to, and it would still look okay. Right, I don't remember if I put dark brown here, so let's just put a bit more. Right, so she needs way more work. Let's see, so we'll come back over this with the peach, and let's see what we can do here. Because she's too ghost white. Hi True, how are you? I hope so, Kenny, that you can get out of your colouring slump. Okay, let me come in again with some light umber. This light umber is actually our mid-tone. Hi Carly, how are you? I am very focused and concentrating. So I'm very quiet. Sorry, guys. So all I'm really trying to do is just go back and forth between my peach and my light umber. And I'm also going to bring in some different pink now. I want a bit of pink rose. I just need a different color here. Face focused, yes, very face focused. But it needs to be done. Because while I color skin, I'm always thinking, all right, what do I need? What's missing? How do I balance this? I want it to be very rich in color, but I also want it to look natural. And I'm also experimenting. So whatever I'm doing, please know it's largely experimental and instinctive. But you don't learn anything with your success. You learn more from failing and making mistakes. So that's what we're going to do here, is just make mistakes and learn. Sorry. You're welcome to disturb me. I do look up. I just am not good at multitasking. I'm sure your experiments are fine. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you can see it's coming together. The thing with faces is you got to keep working at it, and even when it looks scary and awful and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on, this is a disaster, if you just keep working at it, bring in the colors that you feel you need, balance it as best you can, it will eventually work out. And what I find is, before I burnish, so according to the color combo, I need to use cream to burnish. But before I do that, I need to really make sure I've got enough layers for everything to go into each other. I need to make sure that I'm happy with what I'm seeing. So when I put on my cream and blend it out with my cream, it's going to knock itself back into all the right places. And if I'm not happy with what I'm seeing now, I shouldn't burnish. So do you prefer cooler color skin palettes, or do you prefer warmer undertones? I tend to gravitate towards more the reddish than the blue undertones. Oh yeah, definitely Prisma over most budget sets when it comes to portraits. Oh, absolutely. I agree. Most portraits do go through an ugly stage and a giving up stage and a doubtful stage. Like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is all wrong. Where's the Chris Cheng tutorial so we can see and make sure it's right? Oh, thank you, Collie. Yes, I did that one a while ago, actually, probably a year or so ago. When and the funny thing, if it is the same page we're talking about, I actually was doing a bit more work on her. I actually smudged black Posca from her eye across her face, and I had to really make the skin quite dark to cover up the smudge, but it did work out all right in the end. She's just a forever whip. So even black smudges on faces can be overcome with lots of layers. Alright, so this is how a face looks like when I color it after an hour. I've been coloring her face for an hour. Oh, you've ripped up plenty of portraits. Oh, no, I haven't yet gotten to that stage. Oh wait, no, I lie. I'm sorry, I forgot. I tried to do a Christine Karen page with only 3 colors, but I picked the wrong color. I used green instead of blue. But I'd made a copy of it because I didn't want to mess up the original picture. So I made a copy, tried it with red, yellow and green, and it did not look good at all. So I crumpled it up, threw it away, and decided to re-look at the video I'd been watching, or I had seen this 3-color skin tone combo. And then I realized I was supposed to use a blue pencil, not a green pencil. But then I lacked the courage to go back over it and do it again. So it is still on my to-do list one day when I'm an advanced colorist and, I don't know, have not millions, but like loads of thousands of people on Instagram and all of that, because I lack the confidence to do it again. But I've seen people take red, yellow, and blue and use that to color in realistic gold and realistic jewels. It's really amazing what can be done with pencils when you understand color theory and layering and all of that. All right, a bit more dark brown, very lightly. Right, I'm going to use some sepia here inside her nostril. And then back to my dark brown. The other thing I've heard people do with pictures when they're not sure what to do with backgrounds or color combinations, they'll take a photo, then they'll upload it to Photoshop or something similar, and then they'll play with the settings and try and add the colors that they want and see how it goes. I want some more of this pink rose. Alright, I want some more sienna brown, just very lightly over all the places I have done dark brown. And then I will take cream and we'll burnish it and see how it goes. Whose eyes look annoyed or mad, Kali? Right, so I actually don't think she's done. Before I burnish it, she needs a lot more layers. Oh, thank you. other thing why I go slowly with skin tone is because I actually want to try and create a flawless skin tone. And if I go too fast, I'm going to create a streaky skin tone, which won't really do well. Because she's so pretty, and the artist has done such a good job drawing her. Oh yes, she does draw eyes beautifully. Hi Brittany, how are you? How are your cats? Oh yes, her eyes do. That does make sense. I'm glad your cats are doing well. I am using Prismas and I am colouring in Anastasia E Koldareva's book Mysteria. I like Prismas the best for skin tone. I do find it necessary to clean or dust my page as I go, because if I catch any fragments, it does marks in the page and I don't like those marks. Right, I'm going to go over her eyebrows because I want to remove that white glare. So she's starting to come together now. Just keep working on her. I need to sharpen my pencil. But I don't need to sharpen it to a very sharp point because I prefer a slightly blunter pencil when I'm doing portraits. It helps prevent scratching. They are big books. Her books are really big. They're really nice. I find the paper for pencils works pretty good, but I don't really like using too much water-based medium because the paper does go a bit funny with it. Right, I'm going to be cheeky and I'm going to bring in some mineral orange. Actually, no, some goldenrod. I want a little bit of warmth to her face here. So yellow and oranges, they create warmth on your face. So I'm just experimenting. Okay, just disclaimer, I'm experimenting. But I do want some warmth. And then I'll go over that with my peach. Oh, I tried markers and I used it as a base and I chose the wrong color, and now I've made a real big mission on a portrait to the point where I slammed the book shut and I've run away from it because I don't like it. It's not a train smash. It's not bad. It's not throw away in the bin at all. It's just, it's not going to have very defined features and anything like that. It's in my other, it's in a Maritime. So we do need to make sure we do her eyelids, because they are part of her skin, although we don't need to make them as dark. Oh, I use markers on Amazon paper. It helps a lot actually to speed up the coloring process. Otherwise you sit there fiddling and fiddling with all those layers, and then the paper is annoying, and yeah. I think markers on Amazon paper really helps. I think if you wanted to really get to learn alcohol markers and blending them yourself, and doing like fancy artwork, then alcohol marker paper probably is a good way to go. But that's for a totally different experience. I have always been and always will be a pencil girl. Hi Tanya, how are you? Alright, shall we try and burnish this and see how she looks? So I'll burnish it, but I won't burnish it completely. It should be enough for layers afterwards. But I think she might look better when we add some lipstick and some eyes. And then of course her hair. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Just dealing with some migraine headaches at the moment, but they will pass. Don't really know what's caused them. Someone said it could be the changes in the weather, but I don't know. Other than that, all good. Exactly. There's not really a wrong way when it comes to coloring. As long as it makes you happy and you like the results. And you're getting out of your coloring what you needed to give you. Oh yeah, you're right, Collie. I hadn't thought of stress. Although, yeah, maybe. There might be some stress, maybe a subconscious level of stress. Oh wow, no, I didn't know you got stuff like that for migraines. So speaking of completed books, how many completed books have you all managed to do thus far in your coloring journal? Coloring journey, sorry. I can't talk. Oh my goodness. There's been a couple of people I follow on YouTube who've actually completed a coloring book already, which is pretty cool. I like seeing people's completed coloring books. It's very inspiring. So far my solution for migraines is paracetamol, bed, water, and lots of quiet, which isn't always easy when you have a house full of boys. Especially my middle son, he's very loud. He doesn't mean to be, he's just always been a very loud and boisterous boy. So I just manage him, manage me. Although I have heard that